Welcome into the Nebrasketball Hour. Another victory for the nation's hottest team, the longest winning streak in the nation. When will they lose? We don't know. Will it be in our lifetimes? Who can say? Who can say? But it will not be tonight. Nebraska 86, Kansas State 85, Nebraska 6-0. Nebraska wins the Hall of Fame Players Championship. They have another trophy presentation, which I didn't even realize they would have for a 4-team tournament. They gave Braden Frager the MVP. I didn't know they had an MVP tournament. Do they have an all-tournament team? Do they have a second-team all-tournament team? Is there anyone left for a third-team all-tournament team? None of that matters right now. We've got to win, and we are here for a little post-game, which I know everyone, myself included, is ready to talk about. What the hell just happened? And frankly, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not totally sure. I'm not totally sure to even tell you what happened, but that's okay. We're going to try and figure it out and discuss that game, the ups, the downs, the end, how Nebraska did it despite all of their issues. But again, they did get a win. Real quick, couple of things to mention. Hopefully, if you are watching us on the ID Club YouTube page, you've subscribed. If not, please do subscribe, set alerts. We're kind of on and off weird times when we start this. That way you can get some alerts when we start our shows. If you do want to be a commenter on the show, you can join our membership for I-80 Club and get on our Discord, patreon.com/I-80 Club if you want to do that. Or you can do super chats like Josh Jabs did, even though he is also a member of the club. So he's double dipping on this, which is great too. It says Cookie Miller, shout out his name for the trophy. There you go, Jabs. We shouted him out. And we also had one earlier from Edwa73821, T-minus 35 minutes, he says, at 10:10. He said that when the game was going on.
By the way, Jack, I know we don't read them on the show. You got to be subscribed to the I-80 Club and do it through Discord or a super chat to have us read it. Some of these YouTube comments have been absolutely unhinged in the wait for
Go ahead. You can share them if you like to, if you would like to.
Some of the, well, first of all, the waiting for me saying this buzz will only last so long. I'll only be half-mast by the time these guys get going.
Look. Caleb's got a day job he has to do before the show starts. And by the way, we didn't go on. I used to come home from the game before we started these most of the time.
We would take, 30, 40 minutes.
We let Jeff finish. I know it's late tonight. Whatever. We're going. Frostbite Scott 5125 says Frager needs to play every minute moving forward. So there it is. The first call for Frager never to go out. And when I saw him playing at Southwest, I always thought that guy is going to play every minute for Nebraska basketball. Glad to have you with us. Hopefully everyone is as happy as we are tonight, because I kind of thought that one wasn't going to happen, Kaleb. And there have been so many times I have come on the show when it started with you, and I didn't have anything to say at the beginning of the show because I was down. I was angry. I just didn't even want to be here. None of that is true. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. But if you want me to try and explain that game, I don't know that I'm the person to even do it right now, Kaleb. Can you tell me what in the world just happened in that game?
While it was playing out, I was thinking in my head, by God, Jack Mitchell is going to be able to describe this perfectly. The same way you did last night. It was 3 games. You had the first half.
Okay.
You had the blitzkrieg that K-State came out in with that 11 to whatever run to where they take the lead. And then from there, it's 10 lead changes. Nobody can get up by more than 5. It seems like almost nobody can really hit anything in spurts. And then there's free throws. And Nebraska's missing free throws. Sam Hoiberg misses 2 free throws.
When that happened, I was like, are you kidding? I mean,
and then you get to the last minute. You get to the last minute and you go, all right, boom, Rink Bast bucket. Okay, they answered. Timeout.
Immediately. Call the timeout.
You come down.
Fred's going to draw up a play. First of all, go back 2 possessions real quick. That alley-oop to Rink they drew up was so wonderful, but I was afraid he was going to miss it, first of all.
Yes.
He kind of rolled around the rim. and went in, right? And right away, my son said, he was watching, he was like, that's amazing, because not only did they do that, they got 2 for 1 with it, right? So
Yes.
fast. So K-State goes right down, and Frager didn't want to foul. Frager didn't want to get his 5th foul at that point, which they took advantage of. Go right in and score. Nebraska goes down, takes the timeout. They're setting the play up, I think, to get Price a shot on that last play. Yes?
Yes. Yeah. So you have Sam, like, we're going to talk about what we just saw there. So he dribbles it till there's 10 seconds left. You dribble to the right wing, and you get kind of a Frager screen on Sanfort's defender. And he kind of moves out of the way a little bit because he'd been called for a moving screen, which was like, it was a bad moving screen. Like that was obviously a foul. That wasn't a borderline one.
On the one Frager got earlier, you mean?
Yeah.
It looked like he didn't know. I agree it was a good call. It looked like he didn't know who it was moving, because he was trying to do 2 guys and couldn't decide. Let me rephrase that. He was trying to screen 2 guys. Anyway, finish your thought.
Anyway, that was so bad. Anyway, you have the dribble handoff, Hoiberg to Sanfort, and it's a decent look. It's actually a decent look. The problem on the shot is Sanfort's kind of falling away from it a little bit instead of going into it. And I haven't watched a replay, so this is all what did I see in real time and make immediate mental notes.
The only part I've seen is the rebound and the foul. But
yes, you get the rebound. Sam goes in, and it's like, holy crap, good rebound. Ugh, I don't think he's going to get the shot. Oh, he got fouled. And then the immediacy of me going, oh, no, he just missed 2. How much is he going in his head? I just missed 2.
I know. And then
because he doesn't do that. And then you make the first one, and I agreed with the broadcasters, miss this second one.
Yeah, okay. A couple of things first. Number one, I didn't even see the first free throw, because Peacock, I'm done with you. I am done. Peacock is garbage. I am so done. Give me Big Ten Plus. Give me whatever. Give me Nebraska Public Media. I'm done with Peacock. And the graphics. Did you notice, like, they put up this graphic down there at one point with foul trouble, and it looked like it had the wrong resolution? What is going on with this broadcast on Peacock? But they missed the freaking free throw. And
there were so many times they weren't showing the action. Like, that was a very normal thing. And then at the end, by the way,
they didn't have replays the entire game.
Yeah, they didn't even do like reaction shots of like the immediate, like the game just got done and something weird could have happened. But you get the missed free throw, they call timeout. On Peacock, you see 0.1 seconds, but they go to review, and they ultimately decide that when Sam was fouled, there should have been 1.2 seconds.
Okay. But you can't do that because he decided it all worked out. Right. But I don't think he misses that second free throw, right? If there's 1.5, don't you think that might have changed his strategy? No. Possibly? No. Okay, but it could have. Okay, no. For instance, like say if it's the difference between 0.1 and 1.6, there's 100% a difference about what you might do on that, right?
Not like, no.
Really?
No, because they still have to inbound the ball from like full court inbound the ball.
If they make a 2, they only tie the game.
Yeah, like you're getting to a borderline if it's 1.6. If it's 1.2, I don't think they're inbounding it down there without it being contested to just tip the ball away.
I mean, you saw Duke, Kentucky back in but maybe you weren't old enough. This was in the NCAA tournament. Christian Laettner made a 2. Okay, you want to be up by 2 if they have enough time.
Okay, yes, they should have guarded the inbounder, and then they let Laettner just catch it free at the top of the key and take the slowest jab step in the history of the world.
Either way, my point stands that whether the strategy changes or not, you can't let him shoot the second free throw and not know how much time's on the clock.
Yes, I agree with that. You should have, before he has the chance to shoot the free throws, you should be deciding this is how much time is left in the game. Because let's look at this. Let's say those players aren't smart enough to go, we have a timeout and let's use it. If the rebound falls and they shoot it the length of the floor because they think there's only 0.6 seconds left, okay, should they have been allotted those extra 0.3 or another half a second.
Again, you can't change it after he shoots the second free throw is my only point. Because whether you agree on my scenario or not, it could. Making a free throw or not could change your strategy, depending on how much time's left, right? You agree to that, I assume.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I will say this. Was that like a lingering middle finger Big 12? Going back?
No, I don't think so. I didn't know you could do that. And I actually don't know what the rule is, but I can't imagine you're supposed to let him shoot the second free throw. But listen, I've always been a fan of refs. And that's one of the things I love about Nebraska basketball fans of refs. By the way, shout out to the super chat for JC8686. You guys should have better names if you want your name on here. Wasn't Nebraska -1.5? Imagine betting on that. Yeah. There you go. That's a bad beat. That's
where you wanted to know how much time is left so he makes the second one.
Kaleb, if they had put 2.5 seconds, he might have made that one. Okay. Anyway, all of that aside, and on the replay, the Sam foul, I didn't know in the moment, but the foul on Sam was legit. That wasn't a close call, right? He got decked, kind of, right? He got a great rebound. The foul was legit on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so no real controversy with that whole thing. Here's the bottom line. We always have, how many times have we said, or have I said already this year, yeah, well, if Nebraska's hot from three, they can beat anyone. If Nebraska's cold from three, they can lose to anyone. Well, I don't know if you guys looked at the box score yet tonight, but Nebraska 8 for 32 from three. That, if you don't have a calculator, is 25%, which is what I can hit on my driveway from three. I swear. That's true. That's true. So we finally learned tonight that Nebraska can beat we'll see how quality Kansas State is, but Nebraska can beat a Power 5 team, Power 4 team at very least, without being red hot or without even being average from 3-point range, which to me is not something I knew before tonight, to be honest.
No, I mean, even you take last night and they shot under 40%. So it's a neutral site game, and obviously they were able to be more in control of that, be the more talented team, as we discussed in last night's Nebrasketball Hour. But you're right, to look at the way this team was shooting and the way K-State came out in the second half, and by God, once the guy gets his second and third and fourth three-pointer, maybe everyone know where he is in the rotation at all times.
Dude was 7 for 15, I should say. That's Bashir, the guy with the long hair.
Omaha native.
All right. Yeah, he was when he was open, he was hitting them. And they, by the way, they as a team, they were 12 for 35 from three at 34%. So a significantly better percentage than Nebraska was. So they outshot Nebraska from three in this game and still lost to Nebraska in this game. Again, the question is how and why. What is your answer to that question, Kaleb?
I don't know. No, but really, I don't know, because you had Kansas State going ballistic, and then you had the teams just kind of go back and forth. In Nebraska, really, what it comes down to, Nebraska made the last play. That's what it was. Nebraska made the last play. Nebraska getting the 2-for-1 situation in the last minute. Nebraska took advantage on offense. K-State answered. Nebraska had the ball last. Ultimately, that's what mattered. When you look through the box score,
there's nothing.
Where was the difference in the box score?
Nothing.
There's one thing I can find where I go, this is the difference in a 1-point game. The teams were within one turnover of each other, but Nebraska scored 24 to K-State's 18.
Off of turnovers?
Off of turnovers.
And that was the same thing they did last night, too. They had more Nebraska had more turnovers, but scored more points on turnovers.
And then you also look, okay, Nebraska did not shoot great from three, and K-State was ballistic for a while. But what did we see in the first half where we're like, man, Sam Hoiberg's getting a lot of layups. Sam Hoiberg points in the paint. That definitely hit the over. Nebraska as a team, 48 points in the paint. Kansas State, 24.
That's the thing.
It was points in the paint, points off of turnovers. Everything else really favored, or it was either even or favored K-State. But Nebraska ran away with those two.
Who saw these teams take the court and was like, man, Nebraska's going to take these guys to the rim all night, straight to the rim. That's the way, off the dribble and take them to the rim. Who watched that and said, this team that's in here, which is basically 80% Nebraska Supreme Silver from 2021, who is going to go in here to the rim on these guys over and over again in the first half. Why? I think it was because, and Kaleb, I'm not an X's and O's guy, so this is why I'm glad I have you on here. I think it was because they were so overly concerned about the 3-pointers, for the most part, and they weren't ever sinking in. And again, they weren't doubling for the most part, but that wasn't even it. But to have Sam repeatedly, to have Price, to have Kale once, and to have Sam, who am I forgetting?
Jamarcus got a layup in there.
Marcus Russell had one. Yeah, I mean,
Russell.
Good Lord.
What the hell?
Marcus Lawrence, excuse me. I mean, it's just like so many. I just did not expect that whatsoever. And it wasn't even necessarily like what you often see when Nebraska gets points in the post. It's very often kind of Rank going 1-on-1 and being his crafty self, where he's got the footwork and the ability not to get blocked. It was guys just finishing at the rim and taking advantage of being overplayed on the perimeter. Yeah. And I don't know what's Sam Hoiberg. Unbelievable game. Like, unbelievable game by Sam Hoiberg. Not only, of course, finishing the game. Let's see what he did in points. Sam Hoiberg had 13 points, was 6 for 6 for field goals, had 3 steals, only 3 rebounds tonight, so that's definitely a disappointment. And then the 3 missed free throws, not good there. But, man, his ability to score was crazy. If you're just wondering, let's just run down the whole box score, people who are wondering. Price led the team in scoring with 21. He took 14 threes. Are you kidding me? I would have never guessed he took that many. 14 threes, 5 for 14, including a really key one. He was one of the few people. Johnny and I were talking during the end of the second half. We were like, what have they made? 2 threes?
By the way, that means for Price being 5 for 14 from deep, the rest of the team was 3 for 18.
Yes, the other threes were 2 for Frager, right? And one of those came in the second half, and then Lawrence made one in the first half, I believe. So anyway, in terms of points, Price had 21. Rank still had 20 points. He did have 8 free throws. That helped. 6 for 11 field goals. He did, again, not a great one. He was 0 for 3 from 3. Then you did have Frager. Now he had 16, 7 for 10 field goals, 2 for 5 3-pointers for him. Hoiberg put in 13, and then next you had Lawrence, who had 7, and he was 1 for 3 from 3. Leading the way on rebounds, Berke, who you didn't really see in the second half a whole lot, but Berke had 8 rebounds for the game. An assist, Lawrence had 5, Hoiberg had 4. Nebraska only had 16 assists this game. Even like Kansas State, this surprised me because at the beginning of the game, I was like, this Kansas State team is not passing to score. They looked like they were running no offense, Kansas State did in the first half. Right. It looked like they came into the game thinking, we're going to beat them down the court, right? And then we're going to have a track meet with them. We can outrun them. And
their pace concerned me when they were on.
Yeah.
When K-State was on, their pace concerned me.
It looked like they thought they could outrun Nebraska, but once they got in the half court, it was like they had no strategy during the first half. Okay, it was kind of like NBA ball, kind of.
Right. And there have been times, we've said that about Nebraska too. It's like
in previous years, yes, a ton. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. I said on the Discord at one point, I said it kind of reminded me of like some of those Bryce McGowan's years with offense is what it looked like for me. So somebody asked in the Discord, Connor didn't score, right? Yeah, Asijian had no points, 0 for 2 field goals, both 3-pointers. Only had 8 minutes in the game. It's kind of like what happened in Sioux Falls in the second half. He just really didn't play.
There are also a number of questions about excuse me, a number of how many threes Berke ended up taking. He took 5. No, he did not make one.
Question: better reaction when Berke shoots or Juwan Gary last year?
I was thinking every time he shot it, I just wanted to go, no.
Yeah, but I know, me too. But I did that in Sioux Falls, and he hit that one at the beginning of the second half with a dude right in his face.
But hit that one. Like it's so similar in the reaction.
It's the same.
Yeah.
We need to have a Berke versus Juwan Gary 3-point percentage watch throughout the year. With like a little chart on the side of the screen at all times. The no, yes chart.
We should get a 3-point contest, line up those two with Lat Mayan, and I think that would be entertaining. We could raise some NIL dollars that way.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I didn't scroll down to see the supers. Thank you, Josh, for letting me know in the chat. Frostbite says, should we be ranked on Monday? I hadn't even thought of that. They weren't getting votes yet, so they would have to go from not even getting votes to ranked. Shout out Crypto King says Jack Mitchell is cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you are
listening, Crypto King. I appreciate it, man. And then Paul jumps in. He says, incredibly entertaining game, enough positivity. When's Fred going to revoke Berke's license to shoot threes? We were getting to it, Paul. We were getting to it. He never revoked Juwan's license to shoot threes.
No, he didn't.
But man, the last one he missed was so open at the top of the key. I mean, it was so open.
And the first one he took really early in the game, like just a couple of minutes in, it was like, yeah, if they're going to leave you that wide open.
Does Fred really seem like the type of coach who's ever going to say to anyone, don't take open threes?
No, he's not. And here's why. One, he trusts his guys. Because if someone gets going, they're going to get hot. But think about last year, there was an end of game moment where I think Connor Sejan took the last shot of the game in transition, even though he had not made a shot in the game, I think it was. And it was like, and Bryce had like 1 million points. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I don't really care if that's your best shooter every day in practice and percentage wise from 3 over the course of the season. You get it to the guy with the hot hand.
Yeah.
Now, so even though Berke is not making them right now and he's not the hot hand, he's still going to have that green light.
Berke 28% last year. Juwan last year 34%. Okay, maybe that's not a good comparison.
There's some room to make up.
We're gonna need. He was yeah, okay. Better comp would have been Andrew Morgan from 3. Although he was only 14 attempts. Okay, 14 attempts. So.
But he knew where the line was.
Listen. We can work. That could be something they need to work on, because it was another one of those things though where in the first half it felt like you had to have him into Berke in, just because Mast I think was having a hard time getting up and down the floor. Mm-hmm. At some point, when you have a team that plays with pace like that, but you can't take out all of your bigs. But again, it was just so odd on the offensive end because Kansas State's not a super big team. Neither is Nebraska. Obviously, Nebraska's not at all. Yet again, it seemed like Nebraska had in the paint scoring superiority throughout the game. And Kansas State didn't ever try, to be honest.
Yeah, well, K-State was just much smaller across the board, and they were going to try to just outrun everything. And it really worked for them in that stretch early on in the second half, especially because Nebraska was missing 3 after 3 after 3, and it's long rebounds, and they're getting run outs. And it's like when they're able to get that, that's where the Wildcats were thriving. And it worked for them a lot last night as well against Mississippi State. That's why they scored over 90, because they were able to just get out and have pace. And they were beating Nebraska with that as well. They just didn't get enough of it, and they couldn't make up for it on the other end of the floor where Nebraska, with Berke especially, or not Berke, but with Rink especially in the paint, but also finding guys open under the basket, wide open, like Sam was a number of times. He also took guys off the dribble. You also had Frager with his 99 change of direction, crossover, step through, layup on the reverse layup on the other side. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And the one Sam made, not at the end of the game, couple minutes left in the game, the reverse one that Sam got from the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the replay, that was, and thank you for Peacock for actually showing a replay on one play, but like,
yes,
that was a high level of difficulty one as well on that one. And like these guys' inability, and they're going to face teams that are big and they're not going to be able to do that too. But K-State's inability to stop those drives or have any kind of rim protection, it still shocks me at this point. Like, that is a weird way for Nebraska to beat that team.
But here's the thing for K-State without having that rim protection, and we've seen it at times where Nebraska hasn't had a rim protector, and it's like, okay, how do you take any of this away? What Nebraska does is you have the rotation. For K-State, they pressure so hard outside and so far away from the basket. Think about the number of times that they just took the ball away from guys, and not just away from the guards, but you saw trying to run the offense through your big, and the ball just got taken away from Rank, and the ball just got taken away from Berke.
Again tonight with Rank getting it taken away right at the top. Frager even had that happen to him once, but
yeah. So that was kind of their, how do you balance out not having the rim protector, not having the paint defense? It's overly pressure outside and try to make the paint not even part of the equation.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, whatever it was, incredible. K-State, I mean, that McGriff guy for K-State that transferred from Wilmington, he was the closest thing they had to a rim protector. He did have a couple of blocks. He's a weird player, too, in that, like, they don't really – I mean, rebounds ended up being fairly equal, Kaleb, and they got a bunch of possessions where it felt like they had, like, 4 offensive rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, Kansas State didn't really crash the boards either. Like that the equivalent of their big, he only ended up with that McGriff. He had 2 rebounds? No, that's offensive. He had 5 rebounds total during the game.
Yeah,
right. He's their big on that team.
And the teams were even in overall rebounds. You only had K-State get 1 more offensive rebound than Nebraska got. Like I definitely think there were times that K-State could have just had guys. Like, they didn't even have to crash, just hang around.
Yeah.
Because there was enough threes shot by both teams that if they would have just hung around, they could have grabbed more offensive rebounds.
Right. Berke did end up with 5 defensive rebounds. So did Frager. Berke had 3 also. He had 1 really one put back where he had to try it, hit it a couple of times. Rank had 1 offensive rebound. In terms of minutes, this is interesting, guys. Leading in minutes this year, this game, tied at 33, were Price, which isn't surprising, but also Jamarcus Lawrence, who had 33 minutes in this game. Those were the top 2 in terms of minutes.
Yeah, they you actually had Price play 14 seconds more. I've got the exact down to the second on there, but still,
and they were all really close. I mean, Rank was 32, Hoiberg and Hoiberg was 31, and then you had Kale at 22 minutes for Kale Jacobson. Man, he was in there down the stretch, wasn't he? Up until the very end when they need offense, he's always in there, isn't he?
And it's not the end all be all, but you had, when you look at the plus minus, Frager and Kale, they were both +3, and that led the team.
Yeah. Thank you on the Discord. Jamarcus Russell had a few minutes. I'm sorry.
Jamarcus
Russell. He's a really current hot NFL player that a lot of people are thinking about. You're hearing a lot about him more and more, I would say.
Jamarcus Russell is a wide receiver for the Seahawks, and he also has a hip hop album.
That's the guy. That's the old LSU quarterback, right? That's who I'm thinking of, right? Yeah. Nebraska, though, how is this team 12 for 20 free throws? I mean, 8 missed free throws, including Jacobson, 2 for 4, Hoiberg, 1 for 4, Berke, 1 for 2. With that, man, some key missed free throws. If they don't win that game, Kaleb, that is going to burn at the end, because what a weird reason to potentially lose that game, given how everything went with that.
I remember when you and I were doing a morning show a few years ago, Nebraska shot 8 for 31 in a game. And I was like, we can go to literally any gym in the city and I will shoot better than 8 for 31. Walk in, don't even turn on the lights. We'll beat that. Now, the free throw shooting hasn't been that bad, but it is still something that is showing over the course of this season could be an issue in these tighter games. Tonight, obviously, they shoot 60%. Guys not named Rink Mast shot 4 of 10. It is 40% free throw shooting for guys not your big.
Yeah.
That's a problem. On the season, shooting 72% on free throws. You want to get that closer to 80 if you can, because Nebraska's opponents are shooting 80% against them. And if you're going to get in some of these tight games, those free throws matter. And ultimately, Nebraska was able to have the last possession, have the last chance to make a free throw, and that's your difference by 1 point in the ballgame.
Yep. King Bob on the Discord, a member, and I didn't do the math. I trust him on this. Nebraska is 25 for 29 from 2. Is that right? 4 misses from 2 the entire game. Because they were 33 for 61 overall. So that means, quick math, they missed 28. But they were 8 for 32 from 3. So that means they lost 24. So yeah, 4 misses from 2. One of them, Rink, I can think of 2 shots Rink missed. He tried like a follow, one of his little hook shots, but he was falling away toward the end of the game. He missed that. He tried a baseline jumper. He missed. Berke missed a putback, I believe. That's 3. I can sit here and I think I can name off the top of my head almost every shot Nebraska missed that wasn't a 3 in the entire night. That's how you overcome, I guess.
Here we go. 2s only.
Pointers.
You had Rink missed.
He missed that hook. I remember the one again because my son was like, he's got to quit falling away on those.
First minute of the game, Rink missed one.
And I think he missed, that was like a jumper from the free throw line, I want to say.
Then you had Berke miss back-to-back before he got fouled on the shot.
Those were the putbacks.
Yep. And then Rink late in the game.
That was the hook shot. Yep.
Yeah.
There it is. I nailed all of them. I named off of memory every 2-point shot Nebraska missed in that game. That is, I guess, how you overcome. I mean, I don't know what that. Man, K-State was bound and determined. K-State was bound and determined, Kaleb, to take away the 3-point shot in that game. I mean, holy cow. And they didn't get a lot of open shots.
And
they didn't get a ton.
And maybe that plays into Nebraska's poor shooting is the high pressure all the way out away from the basket. Is that when you did get the ball, most of the time somebody was in your business. Like, you did not have a lot of free shots. Now, Nebraska, the 3s that Nebraska made, because they made 8, you can go through and it's like Price was pretty open on a couple of those. Jamarcus in the corner, his 3 wide open. So you start
That's true. They have generally had good shots. I shouldn't say
Frager, one of his in the corner, wide open. Like, so when Nebraska was wide open, those are where the made shots came from. There was just a lot of pressure on the vast majority of those.
Yeah. And again, what I think the key, Nebraska's kryptonite, I said this last night, is going to be super high pressure defensive teams. But I said one more part of that, and that was having a dominant big, which K-State didn't. And that was the difference. Right. Like, I didn't expect Nebraska to be able to punish a team driving like they did. I just didn't expect it. I mean, hell, Kaleb, last night I was complaining about Sam Hoiberg's thing he does, and we've all seen it. You all know where I'm going with this. Because what? He dribbles in, he looks like he's going to drive in and go up hard and take a foul or something. And what does he do? He goes in and then he just keeps dribbling right back out, right. Or he
picks up and dribble in the paint, and he's like, "Well,
yeah." And
now
then he does that.
Here.
Yeah, like, this is not the team I ever expected to be scoring points, driving. I mean, that's the JPJs of the world, right? That's the junior year Bryce Williams of the world. That is the Pettaways of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It just hasn't. I didn't see that happening from these guys on the team. Again, that said, I will say this, though. Frager's way better at it than I realized coming into the season. I hadn't really seen him play, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to give incredible credit. Bryce Sanford is just more complete and skilled overall offensively than I realized.
Well, and here's what I like about both of them. Not obviously the 3-point shooting, the ability to score there. But when they're driving to the basket, they're not in a hurry. Like, there's a patience in taking intentional dribbles, intentional in the direction that they're going. You saw it in Frager with kind of the change of direction, get across there. We've seen it a lot with Price Sanford. If he can get a guy on his hip and he just kind of hangs that ball out in front and gets the layups there.
And Frager did it too. The Gervin finger roll, they did a lot of that.
So it's really nice because a lot of times you think, okay, a guy attacking the basket, there's an aggression, there's a pace to it. They're going to go at the rim and they're going to stuff it. And yeah, like we've seen Frager get up and be super athletic, but the patience that they have getting to the basket, that's something that it doesn't show up in the same way when you're thinking, does this team have someone who can get into the paint and can score at the rim? Yeah. But the way they're doing it is effective, and that's going to continue to help spread things out for this team as they go against other opponents who might try to defend the perimeter in this same way. Yeah.
I mean, if Frager is it's weird because we're how many games into Frager's career? 5. And at some point during the as people in the Discord saw, the autocorrect was not cooperating with me on his name. He's very
what?
I had a hard time typing his name. I got a whole bunch of other words.
Drawer, Fester, afraid, Craver.
But he's already gotten 5 games into his career, me demanding that he gets back into the game when he's not in there. Because
the people were at the beginning of the show, people were demanding that he never go to the bench.
That's true. I guess I forgot that was this show. Yes, one of the one of the super chats. I was tonight. It seems like a long time ago. I was tonight. Someone say he should never. Well, and honestly, the reason he wasn't when I was complaining, but I think they knew that he had 2 fouls, and I think Fred was being really careful with that early in the game with him. I think they really didn't want him to pick up 3 in the first half.
Yeah, they were being careful with that, and then obviously you saw the offense-defense subs late in the game to keep him on the floor offensively.
They started doing it that like 4 minutes. The offense-defense subs.
Oh yeah. Fred was really quick on because it was before even the under 4 timeout. It was quick that they had decided, okay, you want him out there offensively. If possible, don't have him out there with a defensive possession coming up.
Right. Yes. But man, that was going back to the end of the game. Fred draws up those last two plays. And again, the second one doesn't go as planned. That is Sam getting an offensive rebound and getting fouled was absolutely not the thought. I suppose they took the shot early, hoping an offensive rebound was possible, and Sam's been a good rebounder, so maybe I'm wrong about that. But
think about this: taking the shot early was with what, like 3 or 4 seconds left, because he had to grab that and go up with it right away too. There was only time left to grab an offensive rebound and go back up with it.
In the beginning of the play, I haven't seen the beginning of the play. I'd like to watch it again now. It was a little. I mean, Sam sat there, just dribbled around, right, to run the clock down.
Yeah, ran it down to under 10.
I think one of the initial passes or something about it was a little awkward. I think it didn't quite go as smoothly as they wanted it to at the very beginning, but they got the shot. And like I said, a long rebound like that, and Sam, as usual, just crashing in there and getting that. Oh
my God. Have you seen the giant Hall of Fame Classic Champions board?
Like holding it in front of the picture?
Yeah, well, not just
like they hold it for a picture.
So yeah, that one. But Nebraska.
Shout out Zach, by the way. Thanks for the super chat.
The Nebraska Twitter account tweeted one out, and you have Frager holding it and pointing at it. He looks goofy as hell in the same way that you had the Orr picture from the Diamond Head. Not up like this. He's holding it in front of him and pointing at it, but it looks so goofy in the way that I imagine this is going to continue to get used in the way the Orr picture was last year.
And as you mentioned last night, since Nebraska did not make the Big Ten tournament last year, they are now have gone a full calendar year nearly without losing a game in any sort of a tournament.
So here's where Nebraska's at in nation leading active win streaks. Just straight up games, 10.
Okay.
Nobody has won. So Nebraska 10 there. Also,
yes. Okay.
nation leading 10 neutral site games. Nobody in the country's done that. You also have the nation leading active win streak for non-conference games at 17.
Wow. Okay. Does that go back to like when was the last non-conference loss they had?
St. Mary's.
In the Pentagon last year?
Yeah, for non-con, yes.
The Sanford Pentagon?
The actor?
The actor? Are you kidding me? That's the last time they lost a non-conference game? Jeez.
I have to go. I'll go back and look at it.
No, I don't. I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, I guess they didn't lose again. People forget they beat Creighton after that. A lot of people don't remember that. But Nebraska, they beat Creighton last year. By the way, while you're doing that,
but yeah, that was Nebraska's only non-con loss.
And then they won the Hawaii paddle Diamond Head tournament.
Yeah,
They won the Crown tournament. They won this tournament, the Hall of Fame tournament or whatever in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I would say tournament tested Nebraska basketball. So 0 NCAA tournament wins, but every other tournament win, essentially.
But 3 straight tournament victories.
Right.
No NCAA tournament
Let's
wins.
Let's get a big
tournament championships.
It's time to get a Big Ten in-season tournament, in my opinion. Paint up the floors like they do in the NBA, okay? Right in the middle. Have it from about mid-January to mid-February.
Everyone is making fun of the Utah Jazz floor
brutal.
for the BYU Wisconsin game.
By the way, I want to shout out to DPM on the Discord, one of our IDA Club members. He got a quote and an explanation. Finally, we got an explanation on what happened with putting the time back here.
Okay.
So they do the pool reporter thing where they actually talk to the officials, which is always odd to me that they do this because they don't do this in other sports. But so CJ Moore, who was the pool reporter, said, "Can you explain why the officials went back to the clock and adjusted the time after the missed free throw and timeout?" And Matt Potter was the lead official, and here was his answer. And this explains it. He said, "We identified a timing error and had to put time back on the clock." So anyway, that was why they did that.
Doesn't explain anything. Are you friggin'? Where's the follow-up? CJ Moore?
Yeah, where's the follow-up? Did you CJ Moore, take that guy's journalism card. I'm tired of CJ Moore asking soft-ass questions to the officials right now. I am tired of it.
Wait, you know what?
Let's get someone in here who'll ask a real question.
I'm out on CJ Moore. I'm out.
As a pool reporter, me too. Yep, me too.
Probably can't even swim the breaststroke. Get him out of the pool.
Paul back in with another super chat. He says Frager equal flag. I feel like we might. I mean, I feel like there's some sort of middle ground between I didn't expect a lot and top lottery pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, somewhere between there.
The versatility is nice. I'm not gonna lie, the versatility, the athleticism, it's really nice with him.
Okay,
and the fact that he's from Lincoln is cool.
What are your final thoughts on the case?
Alex says he's a baby Cooper. I can't believe you didn't say mini Cooper. Okay, final thought.
Beautiful.
So we can't forget to do the NCAA confidence number. We'll do that at the very end. Final thoughts. Well, first, one more question, Kaleb. How good do you think New Mexico and Kansas State and Oklahoma, for that matter, are? That'll be really interesting to me to see for me. And by the way, if people didn't see, New Mexico did beat Mississippi State tonight. I think Punchy McPuncherson was back for him.
He just didn't start. What kind of like punishment is that? Oh, you didn't start, but you're gonna play a bunch of minutes anyway,
right?
So now, here's what that does for New Mexico is like they won the game. So if you're going to do that, if you're not going to show any accountability in he punched a guy in the middle of the basketball floor, and he posted a ChatGPT apology. So I guess we'll let him go out here. He's not going to start, but this is going to be our accountability for him. You better win the damn game, and they won. So I guess you give them that.
There you go. Look, I'm glad they let Glass Joe play in that game because like it helped him get a win. It helped him get a win. That guy should be on a new level of Mike Tyson's punch out, though, right? But he only his secret punch, right? Like Great Tiger spun around and his turban lit up and stuff, and Soda Popinski, the King Hippo is. But this guy comes behind the ring and just comes behind you and just like cold cocks you in the back of the head. Which, by the way, it looked like he hit him in the back of the head. How did he lose a tooth? Was it up more on the side of his face?
It was more on the side.
What happened?
Yeah, it was more on the side. That is the camera angle.
Okay, because he lost. I thought maybe his face fell down. I'm
not
saying he faked it, by the way. Don't put in the papers I said he faked it.
It was the camera angle, much in the way a lot of comments tonight have been exactly like Zach's here on complaints about your camera angle.
I've only used this camera for like 8 million shows before. That's the first time anybody's ever said that. You're right. I'm leaning on my desk a lot tonight. Sorry. Anyway.
But okay. So I mean, I think New Mexico will be pretty good. I'll be interested to see what they look like going through the Mountain West.
Who do you think the best of those three teams is? What's the best win in that group? Oklahoma. I kind of think so too.
Yeah, especially because they'll go through the SEC, and the SEC is going to have like 12 or 14 teams between in the field and on the bubble. You know, like they're going to have teams go below 500.
It just means more.
It does. It means more in the tournament. And so when you start to look at those teams and they play each other, they're going to start to look really good in all of those metrics. So the best win is probably Oklahoma, followed by K-State going through the Big 12.
Yeah,
and then New Mexico, I think, is going to be a good mid-major victory.
Again, they beat Mississippi State, who came in as, at least according to the both Ken Pom and what Bart Torvik was the highest rated of all of the opponents. Nebraska was rated higher than all of them, I think. But
yeah.
Real quick before we get to the ratings, looking ahead for Nebraska basketball, their schedule going forward, they play Tuesday night against a Winthrop team, Kaleb, that took Arkansas to the brink the other night. Did you see that?
Yeah, were they the one they
almost had a brawl at the end?
Yeah, that's what Nebraska wants out of all of their mid-major opponents.
Oh, but guess what? Here we go. They come in. They're coming in ready to throw hands immediately with Nebraska. So at least Decision, he's got a strong chin. So anyway, that could be an interesting game. I think Winthrop, I checked their Ken Pom before. It was in the hundreds, I think. Let me real quick look it up once again. But so that'll be one of the better, kind of buy game type games that Nebraska has this year. Maybe the best of them all. 118, right? So comparable team would be a DePaul or Boston College or even Utah or Temple or Rutgers for that matter. They're right in the Rutgers neighborhood right now.
Yeah, Winthrop, 1-point loss to ranked Arkansas, beat the brakes off of Mercer, lost to Coastal Carolina, lost to George Mason.
And then, so that'll be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and then they'll have a little break for Thanksgiving. And then they play the Saturday after Black Friday, and that's against USC Upstate, and they are 325 in Ken Pom. So not the worst team Nebraska is going to play this year, I don't think. I think West Georgia is still down there, and maybe another one of the teams they play.
So, okay, South Carolina Upstate. They are 3-4 on the season. Can you name one of their 3 wins?
No, I mean, I don't know.
They have beaten. They have a win at Fresno State. Okay,
wow,
that's a team you can name. Also, Southern Virginia and Bob Jones.
Bob Jones University, yes, very nice.
Bob Jones Bruins.
Interesting. Okay, so those are the next 2 games, and then after that, you got a full week off. You got 8 days off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long break.
It's
not even a holiday break. It's a post-holiday break. You're actually playing during the holiday almost, playing Tuesday, Saturday on either side of Thanksgiving. Then you have a full 8-day. Matt Rule would be jealous. You have a full 8-day break until Creighton on Sunday, December 7 at 4 p.m. So, and Creighton is going to Las Vegas before this, and there's 8,000 teams in that tournament they're in. And, not to brag, but if they need to know a little something about tournament play, they could give old Nebraska a call and ask some questions about their in-state friends.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Jones, the golfer.
Bob Jones.
This is gonna make me nervous here. Before we wrap this thing up, it's almost midnight, but we still have almost 200 viewers right now.
You absolute sickos! I love it.
You are the greatest. Is Nebraska? Don't do this, Jack. I listen. I'm going to do it, not because I'm saying it's true, but Nebraska's going to be like a 9-point favorite against Creighton, right?
Yeah. So I saw
what is the biggest favorite Nebraska's been against Creighton?
I saw Creighton. There were Creighton fans through the first half of tonight's game saying, "Wow, you're going to get a ranked Nebraska team in the plucky underdog Creighton."
So good. They're always the second one you think of in the state. It's great for them. It's good for them. I hope it builds their confidence to have a chance against the big guys in the state. That's good. No, but seriously, like I don't know it'll depend on how they do in Vegas, but Nebraska, I think, should be able to take care of business at home, but they will be they're going to be like I don't know what the number will be, but more than 5, I think, barring something unexpected happening.
Yeah, if Nebraska has no problems this next week, like just cleans them out, absolutely no problems.
Freaking terrifies me.
And Creighton goes and struggles in Vegas, like struggles mightily.
I don't like that. I don't like this.
No, I'm saying is you could get close to double digits.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I just don't like the setup. It makes me nervous. I don't like it. I like going there, nobody thinking they have a chance, like they have the last 2 times they've went there.
You're turning into the people who get mad at you saying you're going to jinx the team.
That's different. Jinxes are scientifically not a thing. That doesn't exist. But I just am nervous about their mindset. I'm just worried about Nebraska's. I'm worried about Nebraska's mindset. I don't want them to start to read their own press clippings.
0% of them read anything I write. It's okay.
I didn't say you. I meant world famous referee reporter CJ Moore.
Maybe. Well, and Sam is probably reading what Amy just writes. Like, let's be honest. They're all reading what Amy writes. So as long as Amy doesn't say they're the best thing since sliced bread, we'll be okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be weird. It's just a different mentality than I'm ever used to for this game. Because again, we'll have to do some efforting, some research on this. When was the last time Nebraska was favored against Creighton? When was the last time Nebraska was favored by 5 against Creighton? I have no idea. Answering any of those questions.
I'll just say this. I don't care about the underdog mentality. I care about Creighton losing.
Probably 2018.
I care about watching Creighton suffer. So they can go suffer in Vegas, then they can suffer against Nebraska.
All right, let's wrap it with this. NCAA tournament confidence meter. Yesterday, after the win against New Mexico, Kaleb, as most would have expected, went down because I believe the reasoning was too many turnovers.
I didn't like it.
So it went down from a 9.7 to a 9.5. I, on the other hand, went up from a 4.5 to a 5.5 after the New Mexico win. So we're getting, we're kind of
getting we're coming together.
So I assume because of missed free throws today, you're going to be down at a 7. I have no idea. What's your rating here?
Yeah, was not a big fan of the missed free throws. Turnovers I thought could have been handled a little better. What I didn't like it. I loved it. Grit. Give me all that grit. Give me that last minute.
I didn't see that in the box score. Weird.
Rink mast, get it done on one end, get down last second, draw something beautiful up, get your best shooter going. Oh, it doesn't go in. Grit. Offensive rebound, free throw, got the job done. Put me at a 9.8.
9.8, back above where he was. The turnovers have been forgiven against New Mexico. I don't know if I can keep doing this, and I also don't like to use. I think the rules of this were just to do 0.5s. I don't think I ever approved tenths of a point with this. But
There was no meeting. Just like the 5 years I did a morning show with you, there was never a pre-show meeting. There were no parameters. It's just you figure it out on the fly.
So I probably should use tenths, but out of principle, I refuse to because I don't think that's allowed. I will. Man, if they can win games where they don't shoot well, Kaleb. 6.0.
Oh, okay.
I have a 6.0 confidence. Right now, they're going to make the NCAA. I think that's reasonable. I don't think I went from a 4.5 at the beginning of the season up to a 5.5 after the first few games, and I am now at a 6.
Okay, I like it. I did not know we were going to do this for an hour, by the way.
Has it been an hour? It doesn't feel like it. Sorry, everybody's tired. Sorry, I also didn't think we'd have 200 people watching it. So
my wife is in the living room scrolling TikTok.
I am so sorry. All right, let's end this thing. Sorry to Caleb's wife. Sorry to all of you. Sorry to the CJ, the referee reporter. Everyone, thank you so much. We will. I don't know when we're gonna do a show next. I'll just say that.
We'll figure it out.
Josh and I will be back here. Like and subscribe to the YouTube page. Follow us on Twitter or become a member. That's how you can find out. We have more coming. We just don't know when they're going to be. We certainly will be doing something after the Creighton game for sure, but I'd like to at least get one more show in prior to that. Tomorrow morning, Josh and I are live for Saturday Morning Coffee, getting you ready for Nebraska Penn State. That's at 9 o'clock. And then we're doing a watch party for Penn State tomorrow, Kaleb. With, as I understand, some cameo appearances, like Manning cast style interviews, maybe during it. We're going all.
Are you guys going to do the sticky notes? You going to do the sticky notes?
Maybe, I don't know. This is we'll see if we can get, probably won't be able to get as many viewers as we do for the Nebrasketball hour, but it's fun to have to do some of that stuff with football anyway.
It's fun to talk football, I guess.
You can do that too. That's more of just a for fun thing. This one's for making the money. So thank you everyone for joining us. But yes, do join us. Those are both public shows. 9 o'clock for coffee, and then kickoff is at 6 o'clock tomorrow. So we'll be on shortly before that. All right. For Kaleb, for the I-80 Club, for Husker Max, that is it for us. Have a nice night. Enjoy that Husker win, GBR, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.